Good morning and welcome back to the workshop. In today's episode we will take this, which is racking from a local builder's merchant, and turn it into a workbench. Not all of it, obviously, it's going to be quite a big workbench if I used all of it. We've got 7 of these frames. They are 38mm by 89mm or 2x4 CLS lengths. It is 2.1 meters long by 1.8 meters wide. Got 7 of those. 5 of these tongue and groove chipboard pieces, which are 1.8 meters by 60 centimeters, 600 by 1800. Don't know how thick those are actually. I'm going to go with about 44mm. So we've got that. 2 sheets of 8x4 plywood, which is 12mm thick. A couple of bits of leftover plywood, some in there as well. So the plan is take all the plastic bits off of here, cut that, make a workbench. That will be 1.8 by 1.2 or 1200 by 1800. Out of this, the rest of it's going to go for the worktop over there. We'll use the offcuts down here as part of, and that over there, those 2 sheets as part of a storage cart. That's about it really. Let's get to it. So this came with some plastic trim where they had labelled the product that was in the racking. So I start by taking that off, getting the nails out and getting it back to just where it's some wood that's usable. Then we can mark out 900mm. So I'm going to cut the legs at 900mm, put the top on top of that. The top is 40mm, so it comes up to a 940mm height for the workbench. So just mark that and square that off so I can get a nice straight cut. I could have used my circular saw here and just made a downwards cut because it's got a maximum depth of 65mm, but I chose to use the hand saw. It's a little bit of effort, but it's got a lot more control and in most cases makes a smoother, nicer cut. So we get 1 set of legs cut and we need to take off, there's some bracing just on the racking that goes vertically, so we take that off and then measure and mark out where we need to cut for the other set of legs at the other end of this racking. So I haven't decided if I want 1.2 meter depth or 600mm depth, because here we've got 600mm, which seems quite slim. For a workbench, but I mean if I'm standing at it, then this would be better. Put the camera over here for a second. That's about a good distance. This I think is too much, because if I stand at one end, I can reach to about the middle, but no further. So it seems fairly pointless to have that big. So I think what we'll do is leave it at 600 wide. Now that it's all cut, I can lay it out on the floor, and I just make sure that everything is centered to each other, so the legs are centered to the top. The top is ever so slightly longer than the legs. There's a little bit of overlap at each end, but I think that's a good thing because it will give me a place to hold if I need to move it. It'll give me somewhere to clamp to if I need to clamp at the ends. Just give me a little bit of extra space. So we just get all of the screws in here, and I am screwing downwards from the top. I'm not overly worried about the screws. They are recessed ever so slightly, but I'm not worried about them being visible or anything like that. This is a temporary throwaway workbench. I do plan to make a better one in the future with a little tray at the back that I can put stuff in that's below the height of the workbench. It will also give me a little bit of space to put tools or fixings or whatever it might be, and not have them roll away. So now I'm just going to put some supports at the side. It gives it some support. It stops the legs from going inwards. It makes it a little bit more sturdy. It's not, again, the nicest thing to look at, but it's not supposed to be. It's a workbench. It's not a fancy pants bench. So the last bit to do is just to cut the tongue off the side of the workbench, just to make it nice and flat. And there we have this workbench. Good enough. Already I regret making it quite so tall because I put the legs at 900, which makes the top 940, which is great for leaning on. But it might be a bit too high, just because I'm not that tall. So I might take, how much should we take off? I might take 100 mil off. So we'll take it down to about here. And that's a good height. That's about belt height. Yeah. It's sturdy, I can jump on it, I can stand on it, it's not going anywhere. Good. So I decided after this that the workbench was too high. I could use it to lean on. I could put stuff on top of it. It's a usable height, but it's similar to kitchen counter height. It was too high to be comfortable to work on a lot. So I'm going to lower it down. I end up lowering it down 90 millimeters. For some reason I make about 5 passes around the workbench to measure it and mark it and cut it. But we get all that done and flip the bench back over. Much better. That's now a much better height. Downside is the bottom half lap is now just ever so slightly off the floor rather than quite a way off the floor. But that's not really a problem. It's just not what I thought I would have. But it's now at a, I would say, much better height. Just below where my belt is. I took off 90 mil. Because that's the bit of the wood that I had that I was using as a reference. Happy side effect, kind of. It slots just underneath the table saw. So there's maybe a 30 mil difference between that and the table. So I could probably use it as an outfeed table as well, if I needed to. But now its job's a good one. thank you for watching. And if you did enjoy the video, or you want to see me make the storage cart that's going to go over there, or the worktop that's going along there, or just any of the other videos that I've made and will make, please do subscribe. Like the video, comment, all the things that people ask you to do at the end and the beginning and the middle of their videos. And I'll see you in the next one.